So no victory Monday on this Monday morning. The Dallas Cowboys falling to their division rivals, the Philadelphia Eagles, 26-17. That snaps their 8-game winning streak against NFC East opponents. Thank you so much for being here with us on Cowboys Flashback. I'm your host, Haley Sutton. Well, it wasn't pretty for Dallas. We knew it would be a challenge to win at Lincoln Financial, and the undefeated Eagles proved just to be too much. It's the first loss since week 1, and it's also the most points given up since that 19-3 loss to Tom Brady and the Bucs to open the season. More on that in just a minute. But first, we head to the podium to hear from head coach Mike McCarthy after the game.
Mike, just your thoughts on how the start of the game was and how that kind of got that over.
Well, I mean, obviously the start of the game was in their favor. Obviously we got behind, but, I think like anything, the big thing, we talked about in the locker room was, just the emotion of the game. You knew that coming in, and, you got to be better in the discipline penalties. We had too many discipline penalties, and we had three giveaways. So, there's a lot of momentum, which, you have in these types of games. This an excellent competitive arena to compete in. And, I thought we punched back every time they hit us with some things, and then we got going there in the second half, and particularly in the third quarter, running the ball, and the up-tempo offense obviously was a help. We were trying to get to it, in the first half, was trying to do it after a first down in a series, and, just couldn't get it going. So just got to be cleaner, had some young guys that, we're still growing in some areas on offense. We knew that coming in here. It's part of the way we've been playing. But the emphasis all week was running the football and stopping the run. So, and that obviously was a big part of this game.
I was going to ask you that the young guys that they were tougher for you trying to get back into the game. The guys didn't make a push. Was it just too big a hole early to come out of? The early guys was too big of a hole, even though you guys didn't make a push in the end, just too much at the start, or do you think you could give up that you guys were still on half
obviously wasn't the start we're looking for. At halftime, just, frankly, the locker room was good. We took some shots from them, and, I thought the guys just stayed on course, came out stronger in the third quarter. The third quarter was the best, quarter that we played tonight. So, this team has tremendous passion, energy, play style, but, we were not as clean as we needed to be.
Secondly, on Cooper Rush, obviously the turnovers early,
I'm sorry?
Cooper. The turnovers early.
Turnovers, okay.
His turnovers early, and how he played the first half, and really the way he rallied and settled down in the third and fourth quarter.
Yeah, I thought Cooper, obviously when you're playing in a crowded stadium, first time, outdoors, all those things, but, you're going to have, more pressure in these type of games. I thought he did a good job hanging in there. Obviously the, giveaways. The 4 route was an undercut and 2-man. The one was, I think, the other one was the hit on Graham there in the fourth quarter. So, obviously you got to take care of the football, but, we'll learn from it and be better.
The Dallas Cowboys now sitting at 4-2 on the season. Of course, this was the first loss of Cooper Rush's career as a starter. We're breaking down his performance when we return on Cowboys Flashback.
Dallas Cowboys Flashback, presented by Reliant, is brought to you by AT&T, the official 5G innovation partner of the Dallas Cowboys, and by Reliant, an NRG company. This segment is brought to you by AT&T, the official 5G innovation partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Rush hour stalling out yesterday. The backup quarterback picking up the first loss of his career in his worst performance as a starter. Cooper Rush was 18 of 38 for 181 yards and a touchdown, but the biggest difference in his game yesterday, interceptions. Rush throwing 3 picks, including one where he targeted CeeDee Lamb in what could have been a walk-in touchdown. Instead, Rush was hit as he released, and it was eventually snagged by C.J. Gardner-Johnson. After the game, Rush taking accountability for his mistake, saying the offense has to step up in big games.
Could we just talk about what was it for you guys to dig out of that early hole? Even though you guys didn't make a game together, was it tougher, or just you guys had kept the same confidence level the whole time?
Yeah, slow start, but we knew, we just got to go execute. And that third quarter was big. Defense got to stop. get a drive and get another long drive. Kind of found our momentum there, got on the ball, got in some rhythm. Just goes to show you got to play all 4 quarters. You can't start that slow.
The thing you've done is protect the football. You had no interceptions going into the game tonight, 3 tonight. To what extent do you think that cost you the game, and what happened in those situations?
Yeah, I mean, I think it obviously was the deciding factor. First one was a bang-bang play. Ball bounces up in the air, and, oh, crap. But, the next one's just got to, can't do it right. And then, I think that was the difference in the game because I think we moved the ball when we were on schedule and plays were there. We were making them, but we gave them 2 or 3 short fields versus a very good offense that they got. Defense did a great job holding the 3 points a couple times. Can't have those, right?
Pat, Patrick Walker, DallasCowboys.com. Can you talk about the process of not getting too low after the first 2 interceptions and being able to climb back within 3 points?
Yeah, you just keep playing ball. You know what we got on offense. We know the talent we have. We know our scheme, and we know what we're capable of, and sometimes it's going to be ugly, and, it's the NFL. They got good players too. And there was no, I wouldn't say there was any panic, or we just had to get going. We just, kept shooting ourselves in our foot a little bit and missing throws, penalties. But then we got going, third quarter, kind of showed what we were about, and, we love the fight.
Was there anything that the Eagles defense showed you that you hadn't seen thus far as a starter, or was it just you feel like you could have played a little bit cleaner?
Nothing in particular, just got to play cleaner. Slay made a good play. First one was a good play by Bradbury, too. Sometimes just playing ball, things happen.
The last interception, were you hit or just, the 4th quarter? Is that,
Yeah. Obviously didn't get enough on it. Kind of got hit there, and obviously want that one back. It's a big one.
So it's looking like that will be Rush's final start as Dak Prescott trends towards a return. He was elevated to limited in practice last week before being listed as inactive prior to the game. So here's a look at QB1 tossing in the pregame. You can see he's wearing a brace on that right hand to protect his thumb, but otherwise looked pretty normal. After the game, he told reporters that it's, quote, his plan to return next Sunday against Detroit. He still has to meet with his doctors. Mike McCarthy saying in his press conference the goal is for Dak to participate in a normal week starting on Wednesday. Well, a major milestone for Ezekiel Elliott yesterday among some other notable offensive performance. That's coming up next on Cowboys Flashback.
This segment was brought to you by AT&T, the official 5G innovation partner of the Dallas Cowboys. This segment is brought to you by Ashley, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
After 7 seasons, running back Ezekiel Elliott has joined an elite group of Dallas ball carriers. Zeke racking up 10,000 yards from scrimmage in his career, joining Emmitt Smith and Tony Dorsett as the only players in franchise history to do so. Zeke with 13 carries for 81 yards against the Eagles, including a few key first downs, and of course that touchdown in the 3rd quarter. He averaged 6.2 yards per carry, the highest since he had 7.2 last season against Carolina. A frustrating finish, but still a good night for the running back.
Zeke, what can you say about the way this team fought back down 20-0?
No, yeah, I'm proud of us. We fought back. We got down early. We didn't start fast enough. Didn't protect the ball well enough. But we fought back, and we had a good second half. Not good enough.
What can you say? Obviously turnovers kill, and three are tough to overcome, right? Turnovers kill. We lost the turnover battle. -3. We got to protect the football better. We got to come out, faster.
If Dak is back next week and he's throwing before the game today, what can you say about this team in general? 4-1 in the 5 games overall. I know you're not feeling big picture right now, but in the grand scheme of things, you guys have been very successful over the last month.
We've had a successful last month. This one hurts. We really wanted this one. We wanted this one. Big game, big division game. We get Dak back hopefully, next week or the week after that. We just got to figure out, what went wrong today and learn from today, get better.
What can you say about the hurt? Just talk more about that, because watching you guys come off that field, you guys look pissed. all the work we put in. Just it hurts, just to lose this type of game, lose this big division game Sunday night. You want to, come out of these victorious. It was a huge step for this team, but. I mean, proud of the guys in this locker room, and we got to get back to the drawing board and get back to work.
What can you say about the excitement of getting Dak back potentially next week?
We're ready to get Ford back. Long as he's healthy and ready to go, it'll be good to get him back.
And your performance tonight, I mean, you had some great runs. The touchdown run looked great. How did it feel to kind of run like that tonight?
It felt good. Running game was going well. We knew if we got on the ball, we were going to be able to tire him out. We got to do some of that stuff in the second half. But I just think we got to come out hotter. We can't come out that flat. We can't turn over the ball like that. And obviously would have been a different situation.
Zeke not the only player to have a standout game on offense. How about the first-year tight end Jake Ferguson? If you don't know, now you know. The rookie hitting the Texas two-step around a defender to score his first career touchdown. He finished the night with 40 yards on 4 receptions, filling in for the injured Dalton Schultz. That's the most for a Cowboys rookie tight end since Jason Witten had 5 against New Orleans in his first season in the NFL. And how about Kevontae Turpin? The speedster showing off the Jets, racking up 96 yards on 3 returns, including 1 for 62. That's good for the 3rd longest in the NFL this season. Both spoke after the game, after their first game at the Link.
Hell of a way to end a 93-yard drive. Just walk through the route and what you saw and the play.
Yeah, just a little bootleg. They called it in the huddle, and I knew it was one of the ones that, hey, this might be me on this one. And, just doing what Coach Linda Wells tells me, just be prepared for everything. I don't know if the ball's coming to me, but if it is, I got to make a play.
You guys talk a lot about responding, part of resilience, to go from 20-0 to then at the end of that drive, get it to 2-3. What did you take from that response?
Yeah, we just knew as a team, we're a battling team. Knowing these guys, being around these guys through all this prep, you know who each other is. Guys are going to battle. I know the guys in the tight end room. If I get tired one rep or something doesn't go my way, I can look at them. They can help me. They come in, sub out. You got a group of guys that can battle, and you saw it tonight. It's just a couple things didn't go our way, hurting ourselves a little bit, but that starts with the prep. It starts with next week.
I know you just said, but as far as just providing that spark, you said that's just kind of what you feel like you bring.
Yeah, I feel like that's what I'm bringing. Everybody used to call me the comeback kid. When we down and stuff, just bringing spark to the team. I just feel like that's what I'm here for. That's what I thrive for. I just feel like that's what I am.
Did y'all change a little bit on how much you wanted or how far you would go back in the end zone to come out?
We changed it though. They told me I can go 4 or 5 yards in, but every time he kicked it, he was going with the wind, so he was going like behind the end zone. So we got some stuff going there, and just gotta stay patient in the play calling.
How's the mood of the locker room here? You guys, it's a tough loss, but it seems like there's a lot of positive vibes.
Yeah, still, we know the guys. We still gonna be here. Positive. We just going on, moving on to the next game. There's just one loss. We still 4-2. So I just feel like, at the end of the day, we still gonna be here for each other. For the team wise. Just on to the next.
A quieter night from the wide receiver room. CeeDee Lamb led the way with 68 yards on 5 catches. And we can't forget about that touchdown catch from Noah Brown. That was eventually overturned. So some work to be done on offense this week. But how did the defense fare? Another solid showing from that side of the ball. We'll talk about it next on Cowboys Flashback.
This segment was brought to you by Ashley, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
The Eagles able to put up some serious points on a Dallas defense that previously allowed just 4 touchdowns all season. Philly dominating the ground game and running out the clock. But That's not to say the defense didn't play well. They tallied 4 sacks on the night. They now have 24 on the year. That's the most through 6 games since the 1987 season. They also held MVP candidate Jalen Hurts to season lows in both passing and rushing yards. It's an effort that still fell short of expectations for DeMarcus Lawrence and the rest of the Dallas defense.
Talk to me about what you saw on the field and your disappointment.
Yeah, love this rivalry. Just being able to come out to Philly, showcase our talents. It was a hard team fought game. We learned a lot today. But for us to go down or hang our hats, on this loss, never. I feel like we learned a lot. We get better from it, and we move on to next week.
DeMarcus, you guys showed fight, especially in that second half. I feel like the team collectively came together to show the Eagles it wasn't going to be easy.
Yeah, that speaks on the resilience of this team. No matter what, backup quarterback, ball being ran good by the Eagles. No matter what they're doing or what we're doing, we're still going to continue to fight. So, shout out to our offense and defense and kicking game for continuing to fight tonight.
What did you think of their offense overall? They put up huge numbers all year.
Let me get this tied.
You guys did outgame today. And the offense had more yards than they did. But just in general, your thoughts on the Eagles' offense and what you saw today from your perspective?
Yeah, what I seen today is us beating ourselves. We gave them more opportunities to, score the ball, and D-line got to, be more disciplined on 3rd and 5. So, it's just all about, getting back in it, cleaning it up, learning from these mistakes, and, moving on. Like I said earlier, I don't feel like we should hang our hats, on a game like this. Knowing that we played tough, we learned from our mistakes, came here and corrected at halftime and got better. So, that's all to it.
What can you say?
Appreciate you.
What would you say like this for you guys?
A lot of highs and lows. It's just more frustrating because I just really feel like we beat ourselves. And you just play back on the mistakes that I've made and some other guys might have made, and just know we could play a much cleaner football game. That's the frustrating part. But I guess it's good to learn early.
You could see the frustration on your face coming off at halftime. Did you say something in here, or what was said in here? Because you guys obviously in the second half played significantly better football. What allowed things to shift for you guys?
We just told ourselves, and I told them, I said, we're too good to beat ourselves. We're too good to try to make a play. The play is going to come to us. The scheme, we're too good. We just got to win our one-on-ones, and sometimes in games like this, people try to, we tend to try to do more just to make that splash play or something like that. So we just all got to take accountability, watch this film, and just get better from it.
Do you feel like because of the early turnovers, that tendency to force was maybe ratcheted up that much more?
I won't say that. We have to be accountable. I don't point the finger. Like I said, we could have stopped them from scoring twice and held them to field goals. Turnovers not the point. We as a defense gave up some yards and some points this week, more than we're used to, and we got to fight. No pointing the finger, just all accountability.
Becky, you can't play all 11 spots on the field, but do you feel like the Eagles tried to take advantage of you rushing?
If you look at the game and you just watch the film, there wasn't a lot of rush opportunities. It was more, everything was just RPO. We were just, I think they did a great job scheme. They executed better than us today.
So what's next for America's team? Well, the Cowboys are back home next Sunday. We wrap up the show with a look ahead. That's coming up next on Cowboys Flashback.
Dallas Cowboys Flashback, presented by Reliant, was brought to you by AT&T, the official 5G innovation partner of the Dallas Cowboys. Reliant, an NRG company. And by NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full and condensed game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl.
Well, we are speeding through the 2022 season with Week 7 already on deck for the Dallas Cowboys. The boys back at AT&T Stadium on Sunday for an afternoon showdown with the Detroit Lions. Detroit will be fresh off of a bye week and looking to snap a 3-game losing streak, part of a 2-game homestand for the Cowboys before they get a break. Of course, we mentioned it earlier, Dallas will be looking forward to the return of Dak Prescott behind center, barring any setbacks in the recovery of that thumb fracture. So the Cowboys sitting at 4-2 in the NFC East, and a new week with new opportunities just ahead. It'll all begin on Wednesday as they prepare for the Detroit Lions. That'll do it for this edition of Cowboys Flashback from the Star in Frisco. I'm Haley Sutton. We'll see you next time.